What if I told you that most language learners are lazy? I mean, Steve Kaufman, one of the best polyglots on YouTube, literally says he doesn't do any textbooks, uses any flashcards, and only studies when he feels like it, while we are struggling with just studying for 2 minutes. Maybe you've tried all the productivity tips like time blocking, 30-minute Pomodoros, and yet somehow we still feel burnt out. I've tried all the productivity tips, listened to every Ali Abdaal video, until it hit me. You can't change the trash inside the person, no matter how hard you try. So instead, I pivoted. I searched for lazy methods of studying and realized something: motivation and discipline. It turns out these are actually causing burnout in language learning, and we'll get to that in a bit. But what actually sets apart polyglots are their habits. Because habits are basically unconscious actions that don't require you to exert any energy. So in this video, we're going to cover why motivation can actually be bad for you and causes burnout, what polyglots like Steve and Lindy are doing that make them so successful, and how can we start building our own habits so that learning a language becomes effortless and allows us to save time. But before we dive in, I want to give a quick shout out to FluentU, today's sponsor. Hey y'all, so you probably clicked on this video because sometimes language learning can get repetitive and boring. Maybe you can't find resources that suit you or media to fuel your own immersion. FluentU creates language lessons out of engaging videos, carefully curated to meet different levels and interests. So you'll never get bored. On their Chrome extension, you can learn from content on Netflix and YouTube that includes subtitles, which means you can direct your own learning and choose content based on your interests. One of my favorite things to do is also importing YouTube videos directly to my FluentU account, because then I can access them way more easily. There is a 15-minute limit for the videos that you can import from YouTube, which is why I really like the Chrome extension that they have, because I can watch long videos and still get the learning. And as you can see, they give you these example sentences. They're all so cute. It makes it so much easier because I now don't need to use Google Translate. So how does FluentU work? You watch the video with the subtitles, with the ability to change speed and repeat a phrase. 顔洗う 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 I just put it on loop. 顔洗う Yes. 顔ガス 髪の毛を It's kind of fun. 髪の毛を溶かす Repetition helps. This has saved my ass many times with Japanese pronunciation, because sometimes Japanese speakers speak so quickly and I can't catch it. And when I try to do this on YouTube, I have to rewind 10 seconds in the past. After that, you can simply hover over a word that you don't know, and FluentU will show you the pronunciation, visual clues, definitions, and the most important, other example sentences. It's all good to see one in context, but we all know that real learning is seeing the word repeated in different scenarios. After you add this vocabulary to your deck, you then get quizzed on it. But it's not just any flashcard quiz game. Hardly any other apps do this. But FluentU's goal is to build you up to making your own sentences. And if you're like me, we know how the language sounds. We've heard it a lot. But we just can't seem to make ourselves speak it. And with FluentU's formula, this ensures that you can increase your output confidence. They first start with just testing the word recall and then building you up to the sentences. And these sentences aren't just AI sentences. They're from native videos directly, which means you're going to be learning natural speech. And finally, it's super useful just as a dictionary. You not only get the meaning, but also your own fluency level for it. Then when you press on it, you get all of the context that you need to learn the word and the ability to add this to your vocab deck. FluentU has helped me especially in my beginner Japanese, and so I'm super happy to collaborate with them. They're available everywhere on the web, iOS, Android, so definitely go check it out if you can. I'll also put the discount link in the description below, so check it out if you would like. Thank you to FluentU for sponsoring this video. Let's first understand what is lazy language learning, because you can't expect to sit around all day and then become a Giga Chad. What I mean is making it easy for us to get our ass up and start studying, and make it easy for us to retain new vocabulary. I'll cover my own strategy later in this video, but there's something we first need to understand. Imagine waking up to a beautiful sunny day, smiling as you open your textbook, to a page full of grammar and vocabulary. Yeah, that's never happened in my life. Doing things requires a lot of effort. Yet somehow, some people do these with ease. You could argue that they're just motivated individuals, but that doesn't make sense because motivation fluctuates. It's not a thing you have every day. And getting to a high level of fluency requires consistency. And so what we need to understand is the essence of motivation, because then we can hack it and constantly tap into it. From a neuroscience standpoint, motivation comes from two things. One, deriving pleasure from something, which reinforces our actions because of the dopamine. And two, trying to avoid pain. For example, when I was in secondary school, I'd do anything to avoid studying for my Latin test, like cheating. There was one time where I literally wrote down all the Latin vocabulary on my thigh, because if a teacher asks you to lift up your skirt, who's in the wrong? Anyways, I still managed to end up with a 41%. But that's beside the point. You might have motivation to finish an anime or finish a whole drama or play games. Basically procrastinate as a way to avoid pain. So it turns out we do have motivation, but it's just channeled towards the wrong thing. So how do we become motivated to study a language? Well, we actually don't want to rely on motivation, because being motivated actually gives us less control in our lives. I mean, another word to describe motivation is being driven towards something, which Dr. K talks about in his own video about motivation. But when we're driven to do something, who's actually in control? And so while motivated people are more productive, they are also more likely to get burnt out. And we actually want to be the people study a language without really thinking about it. Basically, just become lazy. When I was first thinking about this, I was like, that's impossible, because what about active recall? What about learning all this vocabulary? You can't just be a schmuck and learn it. But then I dived in to what polyglots really do. In Steve's video about lazy language learning, he mentions that he doesn't do any of these grindy language learning things like flashcards, textbooks. Steve is just chilling with his link, studying when he likes, what he likes. He says that you can get this active recall from just the constant inputs, which you get from reading and listening. And Steve is not the only successful polyglot to do this. Lindy is also another target of mine. In her video about language habits for success, she mentions that while she does take notes, she doesn't review her words like the average language learner. Like Steve, she just keeps immersing herself and trusts that the word will come up again. I'm not saying flashcards are bad. I just wanted to make the joke. They're very efficient for some, but it doesn't mean you have to use them if you don't want to. Because unlike school, where we have to understand concepts, language acquisition mainly comes from repetition, which means it's much easier to learn lazily. We simply just need a lot of exposure to these words to remember them. A lot of the time, we get this internal conflict of, I should study, but I don't want to study. And this comes from when the things we are doing aren't aligned with the goal that we have for ourselves. And then when we get this internal conflict, we end up procrastinating and just feeling stuck. Maybe you are the type who would cram for a test the night before. And this leads to a lot of people saying, oh, I only work under pressure. But why can some people start studying so early on and seem so put together on test day? People studying to become a doctor are more likely to study for their biology exam. Whereas maybe you actually don't want to be a doctor. Maybe you're only studying biology because your parents are forcing you to do it. So, same goes for language learning. We need to find the real reason why you want to learn this language. At the beginning of the year, I made a vision board for my language learning goals. I took this template from Chloe Shi, which I'll also link down in the description below. All I had were my 3 languages, a visual image of my inspiration, and a short description of why I wanted to be like them. So for Mandarin, I chose a podcaster called Peggy Fo, because she speaks hella eloquently. Thus, all my language study methods are centered around how to improve my speaking skills in Chinese, such as listening to a lot of her podcasts. For Japanese, it's to reconnect with my anime and manga. There's a lot of advice out there saying you shouldn't use anime to study Japanese, but you doubt me. So currently I'm reading the Yotsubato manga, which I really recommend for beginners. If you're a fan of Spy Family, I think you'll also enjoy this. And finally, for Korean, we don't talk about that. But overall, if you find out what you really want to achieve from language learning, you can choose study methods that align with your goal. Because now you won't feel so conflicted trying every efficient study method out there. which can just lead to burnout. Now that we have a direction, how can we just magically do the studying? A lot of productivity advice out there is to do with systems. One such advice that I've heard is time blocking. From 5 to 7, every day after work, you're going to study some Japanese. That sucked. It worked for 3 days and then I was dead. When 5:15 p.m. rolled around, honey, I was just not in the mood. Or I just say I'm tired. With these kind of systems, I found that it takes away my freedom. And what's worked for me is not doing any of these hacks at all. I deleted all these time blocks from my schedule, and instead, I use pockets of time throughout my day. Like to study Japanese, I just read for 30 minutes before going to bed. And for Chinese, I would just listen to podcasts whenever I was on the toilet. And surprisingly, I can get through a whole podcast within a day just from doing that. On Spotify, there's this transcript that you can follow along with. So whenever I don't know a word, I can just easily search it up. And what I've realized when testing this is you can use your environment to your advantage. Your brain actually naturally resets yourself as you change environments. I'm sure you've all experienced a time when you walked into a room only to forget why you went there in the first place. And so the bathroom is associated with Chinese, while my bed is associated with Japanese. And now that I have so much free time, if I do feel like it on the weekends, I might take notes on a video and see my process in this video. Then throughout the week, I rewatch these videos and get that active recall. Also, there was a tip from another language YouTuber who says you should keep a playlist of all of the videos that you're studying from to give yourself a sense of progress and also just easy access if you ever want to revisit them. And this is when we've cracked the beauty of true lazy language learning. Because as you keep doing this, it starts becoming unconscious and it becomes a habit. We no longer need to exert that mental energy to be like, damn, I need to open my textbook now, or start sweating when we lose our 300-day Anki streak. And also, since it's a habit, it's going to be super easy to get back into if we do end up missing a day. So hopefully these tips can make your language learning journey a little bit easier. Just be aware though, you can be motivated to do the wrong thing, like watching an English video right now instead of a Chinese one. But don't worry, this is where accountability can help. So I made a Discord server that you guys can join if you would like. You can share your language progress and also set weekly and monthly goals for yourself. Also, let me know in the comments, what other hacks have you tried to fix your procrastination and motivation issues? But remember, language learning is a journey, not a sprint. And we're all out here struggling together. As always, thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.